guys, today we are going to be testing out a new Halloween release. Is there enough of them? I don't know, but I feel like it's just never ending. And I like it, I think it's really fun, but for me, as someone who's not really a Halloween person, I know you're all gasping. I'm sorry, but I've just never been a Halloween person. I think that the theming and stuff of the things that are coming out are really cool though, so I will say. This palette that we're going to try today is from Sugardrizzle. You guys know Sugardrizzle is quickly becoming one of my absolute favorite brands. I think they have a really nice formula, and I also just love all the puns with their palette. So today we're going to be trying the Trick Roar Treat palette, and it basically has a dinosaur riding a bike across the moon. I mean, it doesn't get much better. I think it's just so cute. So I'm excited to test this out. If you guys are unfamiliar with Sugardrizzle, they are a pretty small indie brand. This formula is the same as the past 6-pan palette that they came out with. It's not the same matte formula as the mattes palette. Just wanted to put that out there. This palette was kind of in production before they started making the matte palette. So this is the old matte formula, which is totally okay. Not my favorite, but we're going to be testing it out today. And there are some beautiful shades in here. This palette does launch tomorrow. I'm posting this video the same day as I'm filming it, so it launches tomorrow at noon EST. There are some beautiful shades in this palette. There are actually two multichromes. I think the shade Trick Roar Treat is a multichrome as well. I tried to show you some good swatches. I think I was able to capture the shifts pretty nicely, but I just want to do a look with this, and I think I'm going to use all the shades, and I kind of have an idea for what I want to do as well, and I think it's going to look really good. So I think we should just go ahead and jump in. Just gonna prime my eyes with my Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. I do have a code at Sugardrizzle. It's just Annette, and it will save you 10% off. It is an affiliated code, just so you know. Thank you so much, of course, if you do end up using my codes. It is very much appreciated. Basically, my plan here is going to be, I'm gonna use this sort of mustardy yellow, hence why I wore the shirt, because I think it's gonna go really nice with this palette. I'm gonna use this as my transition shade, deepen it up with the brown. Then I'm gonna use the red, and probably maybe these two on my lid and these two on my lower lash line. Might put a little bit of this in my inner corner as well, but I just want to make sure I try out all of these shades. So I'm going to start with a yellow, which is called Dinosaur Egg, and I'm just going to put that pretty much just in my whole crease here and see how that ends up looking. I'm going to make sure I pack this on nicely so that I get a lot of the shade, because I really want this to be kind of a mustardy, neutrally look on top and then have all the greens on the bottom. I can definitely tell that this is the old matte formula because it takes a lot more building up than the new one does, but you're able to build it up. It just takes a little bit more time. It's a little bit more of a thinner, sheer formula, but if you just go in with a lot and you pack it on, you will get that color that you're looking for, but it's not going to be as quick and effortless as the formula in the new mattes palette is. So I'm taking this quite high up because I really want this color to show when I'm done with the brown, and I think I'm gonna keep the brown to mostly the outer portion of my lid because I really want this to be like mustardy. So I'm gonna switch to a smaller brush. This is the A504 from BK Beauty. I'm gonna take the shade Happy Hunting, which is the dark brown in the palette. I really like the tone of this. I think it goes very nicely with the rest of the color scheme. So I'm just gonna start that on the outer corner of my eye and then blend it into the mustard shade and kind of wing it out a little bit. I know I've been doing that with my shape a lot lately, but I just find it to be really flattering on my eye shape. I think if you have hooded eyes, kind of pulling things out a bit and making it look like it's more lifted is going to just help make your eyes look a little bit less hooded. Not that there's anything wrong with having hooded eyes, but sometimes we want to kind of make it look a little bit less obvious. I really like the tone of this color. I'm gonna go ahead and take this shade underneath my eye, just on the outer portion, and then for the rest of it is going to be the green matte, but I just want to kind of make sure that this connects to the outer corner of my eye. Okay, I think I like this for now. I'm definitely gonna go in and finesse it a little bit more once I'm done with the look, but let's just move on and see what happens. So I'm going to take my NYX glitter primer as per usual. Just going to put that all over my lid, even over that brown in the outer corner, because I do want to layer one of the shimmers over the top. And I'm going to start with a shade called Dynamite, which is just so cute. It's this kind of, I don't even know how to explain this. It's almost like a dark taupe, but it has a slight kind of green shift to it. It's a very interesting shade. I'm gonna basically put that on the outer portion of my lid, just layer it over that brown shade and sort of blend these together. This isn't a shade that I would normally reach for, but since it's in this palette and with this color story, I just kind of want to see like how they all work together. I think if you like doing smoky eyes and stuff, this would be a fun little twist on a neutral smoky eye, because it does have that kind of green shift to it while still being a pretty neutral shade. It actually looks really nice together with these. And then the shade I'm the most excited about, which is this red to kind of greenish olivey yellow. It's definitely a multi-chrome. It looks beautiful. This is a shade called Rephr Candy, and I'm gonna put that on the rest of my lid here. So it's gonna be quite a grungy kind of dark look, because this is, I'm pretty sure, a black base multi-chrome. So I am gonna have to lighten up my inner corner a little bit, because this is quite dark for what I usually prefer here, but I really wanted to test out this shade, and it's blending so nicely into that mustard shade because it has that sort of yellowy, murky shift to it. And it's also blending really nice into the other shimmer. Like, I'm almost just covering all of it with this color, but I don't even care because this is really, really cool. Like, it's definitely the kind of shade that you really want to just use on its own, just so that you can really see the shift on your eye, because the bigger the surface area you put multi-chromes on, the better the shift is going to show, just because your eye's curved. And so when the light hits it in different directions, if you're outside and stuff, if you have a multi-chrome all over your lid, other people are going to see it so much better than you are. And that's like the charm of multi-chromes, in my opinion. And since it does have sort of that black base to it, when I'm blending the edges, it's almost blending into, not a matte, but it's like creating this shadow as if I had a darker shadow in my crease. I think that looks really cool. Like, that is perfect, honestly. It's exactly what I wanted. Yeah, I really like that. I'm gonna take a little bit of the, I should have done this beforehand, but I'm gonna take some of the green shade here. If you're wondering about my pony today, it's the Alley pony from INH. This is in the shade Copper. I really like this. I think it's very fall appropriate, and that's why I keep wearing it these days. But I'm just gonna put that green shade right here. I am probably gonna cover most of this up with the green duochrome, but I wanna have a bit of a base underneath here for that to blend into. And this is also just gonna blend nicely into the brown as well. Now let's dip into this shade. This is gonna be so fun. I already know it. Like, the shift in this is so strong. I know when you look at it straight, it just looks kind of white, but it is such, like, you see that? It's so green. It's so, so green. This is definitely a very creamy shade, so you gotta have more of a kind of dense brush to dig into this with. But I'm excited to put this on my, oh my God, the shift in that is so insanely strong. Like, it almost has a pink reflect to it. That is so interesting. It's not as kind of light as I was expecting it to be. It definitely has more of a dark shift to it, which I don't know how I feel about that as the look itself, but I like the shadow a lot. Like, it's a really cool eyeshadow. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put something else in my inner corner that's not like a multi-chrome or a duochrome, just to kind of ground this look a little bit, because I don't want to have like 50 different shifts on my eyes. I want to kind of keep them separate here. So I'm probably gonna just use my Blend Bunny highlighting palette and take I'm thinking the yellow shade in here is gonna look nice. So this is a shade called Enlightened. It's probably one of my favorite highlighting shades of all time. And I'm just gonna use that as my inner corner shade just to brighten this up a little bit. And this is gonna blend nicely into both the multi-chrome on my lid as well as the one underneath my eye. And I think that's gonna be it. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and finish off with the eye, and I'll come back and show you the final look. Here is how I decided to finish off. I put a bit of green in my waterline. I used an eyeliner from About Face, and I was set this in PR, and I haven't used this color before. It is a beautiful, beautiful green. I'm happy I pulled this out because I wouldn't have known how good this was if I didn't try it. I mean, duh, but still happy I pulled it out and finally gave it a go. I also used a bit of the same highlighter that I used in my inner corner on my brow bone and my face, and that's pretty much it. So if you want to know like the rest of my face, you're gonna have to watch my makeup diary video that I'm probably gonna keep doing. I've uploaded one already. If you didn't see it, I will link it up there. I basically showed every single look that I did like in a week, like 7 days of looks, and talked through like everything that I wore, gave a couple of mini reviews and something like that. It was really fun, and I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it too. So how do I feel about this palette? I think this palette is beautiful. I think it's really, really fun. It's a unique color story. It has 2 multi-chromes in it, which you don't see that very often. And I think that this is a color story that, despite there only being 6 shades, I feel like you can do a lot with this. And if you like grungy looks, this will be right up your alley. And also, trick, roar, treat, like, come on. Sugardrizzle is just the best when it comes to puns. I just love it. I love the theming. I love the color story. I like that all of these shades are very different. Like, there is no shade in here that I'm like, I don't know if we needed that, and like it's too similar to something else, but all of these are just very, very different, and I feel like they go very nicely together. And there's so many things you can do with this palette, even if it's only 6 shades. I think this is a very well curated color story. There's light shades, there's dark shades, there's shimmers, there's multi-chromes, there's duochromes, there's, I mean, everything you need in one little 6-pan palette. So I really like this. Thank you, Sugardrizzle, as always, for sending over your releases. I love playing with them. They are so fun and so cute. So that's gonna be it for today. Do you plan on picking this palette up? Do you have anything from Sugardrizzle? Is there anything that's been kind of on your mind that you want to pick up? Let me know. If you want to see some more Sugardrizzle content, I of course have a playlist. I will put that right there. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.